Welcome to The Explainer. You know that feeling, right? Stepping out of the shower into a warm towel. It's just a fantastic little bit of luxury. Well, today, we're going to break down a practical guide on how to make that happen by installing a heated towel rail in your own bathroom.
So it all starts with this idea, doesn't it? That dream of upgrading your space. And look, it's not just about that daily dose of comfort, it's a real investment in your home. This is way more than just a fancy place to hang your towels. It's an upgrade that can honestly elevate the whole feel and maybe even the value of your bathroom.
And that's the promise, right there, straight from the source guide we're looking at. But you know, to get to that amazing transformation, you have to start with a really fundamental choice, one that's going to define the entire project. So let's get into it.
Okay, this is your first big decision. Are you going electric or hydronic? And this choice is about so much more than just how it looks. You're really deciding on the level of investment and how integrated this thing is going to be with your home. It totally affects how complicated the install is, what it costs to run long term, and really how permanent it becomes.
So first up, you've got the electric model. The easiest way to think about this one is as a standalone appliance. It pretty much just does its own thing, generates its own heat. The big plus here, the installation is usually way simpler. A lot of times, all you need is a specific kind of safety outlet. The thing to think about for the long run, though, its running cost is tied directly to your electricity bill, kind of like a small space heater.
All right, the other route you can take is hydronic. Now, this is a completely different animal. It literally ties right into your home's plumbing, and it becomes another part of your central heating system, just like a radiator. Now, the installation, yeah, it's definitely more involved and is going to cost more upfront. But the payoff can be that long-term efficiency, because it's just using the same heat source that's already warming your whole house.
So what's really interesting here is how this slide lays out the fundamental trade-off. It's not just electric versus water. It's really an electrical project versus a plumbing project. And a lot of times, this boils down to upfront cost versus running cost. Electric usually has a lower price tag to get it on the wall, but you're going to see it on that utility bill every month. Hydronic, on the other hand, means a bigger investment to get it all set up, but it can be way more economical to run day to day, especially if your central heat is already on.
And the guide is super clear about this. Your decision isn't just about what you want. It's about what's practical. I mean, do you even have easy access to your plumbing? Is there a properly rated electrical outlet anywhere near where you want to put this thing? And this is a big one. What do your local building codes actually allow? A lot of times, these factors are going to make the decision for you. So once you've figured out which type you're going with, the next huge question is, who's actually going to do the work? And this is where you have to be really honest about your own skills and what you've done before. Just take a look at this list from the guide. This is pretty much your basic toolkit. Do these tools look familiar to you? And notice the specific stuff, like a pipe cutter if you go hydronic, or an electrical tester for the electric version. Your readiness for this project might just come down to how confident you feel holding these tools. Okay, this is kind of the moment of truth. You've picked a model, you've checked out your toolkit. But before you even think about picking up that drill, the guide offers one piece of advice that you just absolutely cannot skip.
And there it is, the most crucial point. When in doubt, don't do it yourself. This isn't just a friendly suggestion, it's a serious safety warning. Messing with water and electricity requires real expertise, and making a mistake can be super costly or even dangerous. The source material itself strongly recommends calling a pro if you feel even the slightest bit of hesitation.
Okay, so let's move on to the installation process itself. Now, we're not going to do a full detailed tutorial here, but we are going to walk through the major steps from the guide. This way you can get a really good feel for the full scope of the job, whether you're tackling it yourself or you decide to hire a professional. And this just lays out the whole game plan perfectly. See how it starts with safety first? Shutting everything off. Then you get into the precision work, all the measuring and drilling. The real core of the job, though, is right there at step 5, connecting the unit. After that, it's mounting it, testing it, and then adding those final finishing touches, like making sure everything is sealed up tight against moisture.
So you've got the rail on the wall. That is a huge milestone, for sure. But hey, the job isn't quite over yet. These final checks are what really separate a finished project from a successfully and, more importantly, safely completed one.
According to the guide, these are your signs of success. This is what you're looking for. You want consistent, even heat all the way across the rails. If you went with a hydronic system, that means zero, and I mean zero leaks. And for any model, you have to make sure the controls work like they should and that there's enough space around the unit for air to circulate safely.
But you also have to know the red flags. The guide is very specific about this part.
Any weird smell, like burning, or any kind of buzzing sound, that is an immediate stop sign. It means something is seriously wrong with the electrical connection. Don't even hesitate. Go straight to the circuit breaker, turn off the power, and call a professional.
And so, that brings us full circle. That wonderful warm towel, it's totally an achievable luxury. But as this guide makes crystal clear, the decision to install one is about way more than just a weekend project. Honestly, the most important tool you have is your own judgment. Are you just looking for a simple, flexible comfort upgrade, or are you making a permanent, value-adding investment in your home's actual infrastructure? Knowing the answer to that question is what really tells you whether this is a DIY job or a job for a pro.